Football fanatics, get ready. The United Stand pre-season tour is here, powered by One Football, the ultimate app for live scores, transfers and match stats. Download now. No one gets you closer.
We felt that we might get a Rasmus Højlund, here we go, today, or tomorrow, or Friday. And it has gone very quiet on that. Demartio has said that PSG have offered more wages to Hojlund. Now, let's go back to the weekend. Rich, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Let's go back to the weekend. Man United are going to put an official bid in this week to head off a hijack from PSG who were talking to Rasmus Højlund. So United have agreed personal terms with Rasmus Højlund for a long time. The story is that United are going to put an official bid in with Atalanta because PSG can't do that until they've persuaded Højlund to come. PSG are basically trying to get to a point where Rasmus Højlund says, I'll go to you or I'll go to United, depending on who Atalanta say. United are trying to get Atalanta to agree a deal, while Højlund exclusively wants to come to United. Demartio is reporting that PSG, in their negotiations with Rasmus Højlund, have offered him more wages. So PSG are trying to get to a point where Rasmus Højlund says, look, I will go to PSG, I will go to Man United. Whoever puts the better deal in, I'll go there. And some players do that. Demartio is saying at the moment that Højlund is saying, regardless of the wages, I want to go to Man United. So are United now slowing down the process with Atalanta because they know they've got Højlund on lockdown and they want to negotiate with Atalanta? I think we'll find out in the next 48 hours, because it was always said that this would be the week to get the bid done with Atalanta if United were going to speed things up. If United don't speed things up by Friday, that means that they are going to try and negotiate with Atalanta, safe in the knowledge that PSG aren't going to be able to hijack. I'm still very relaxed. He does want to come to United, and United do need to just get moving a little bit quicker, because there is a club there that wants him, and really, while they're negotiating with Højlund, we should lock the deal down with Atalanta. And I think we will do. I'm still hopeful that that deal will happen by Friday. But look, it's intriguing, isn't it, that PSG do the thing that they have to do, which is offer Højlund more money. And Højlund says, no, I still want to go to United. Now, remember, I think United are meant to be offering Højlund £75,000 a week. So it's not hard for PSG to say 100 grand a week. But at the moment, I'm very, very confident about the deal. One thing I just can't say is when we will get that. Here we go. I'd like to think by Friday, but let's wait and see. Ross Smith says, hi Mark, I would be very pessimistic after seeing summer dealings / targets. Keep up the good work from Ireland. Interesting. Interesting. Thank you very much. So yeah, look, it looks good. Looking good with Rasmus Højlund, but we do have to acknowledge the news. And the news is that obviously PSG are still sniffing around there. But I think as well also, just before we move on, I think also with Rasmus Højlund, we're at that point now where, there's not a lot more Demartio, Padula, Romano can report, because we know where we're at. The big report at the weekend was that United were going to put their official bid in this week. And therefore, and personal terms are already done, so there's not really any updates. If you asked Fabrizio, he would say, he'd probably quote tweet what he said at the weekend and say, United official bid is going to go in and we wait now to see what happens. So yeah, I think that with that, we're just waiting for some developments on the bid, aren't we, and seeing where we are. And what I will say is, though, and I must say this because I don't say this on video enough, I end up tweeting it too much, I'm sure many of you feel like this, I'm still massively baffled why certain UK outlets still keep talking about £80 million, £85 million, £75 million. That's nearly €100 million. And yet Italian reports, and what I've been told for weeks, because, well, I have, because I've been telling you, €60 million. So, there's almost, in some cases, there's a £30 million gap between what the UK press are talking about Højlund and what the Italian press are sorting about. So, look, unless there's a real sting in the tail here, I'm absolutely convinced that this deal gets done for around €60 million, 40 to £50 million with add-ons. let's wait and see. Mark, if we're going to sell McTominay, Fred and Van der Beek, any idea who will be bringing in other than Amrabat, says Hasher? Well, you don't need to bring anybody else in, mate. I mean, this is probably why United might keep McTominay, but if I was McTominay, I'd be terrified. If you get rid of Fred and you get rid of Donny van der Beek and you get rid of McTominay, you don't need to get another midfielder when you've got Casemiro, Mainu, Amrabat, Eriksen, Mount and Bruno. You've got 6. You don't need to bring another midfielder in. 6 midfielders for 3 positions is absolutely fine. Because even if you pick up a couple of injuries, you've still got 4 left. And remember, there are players that can do different jobs. Like the Bruno role can be done by Sancho or Ahmad or someone like that at a push. We do have other options. But that might be a reason that he keeps McTominay, which I think's a mistake. I don't think Elanga's been officially announced yet in relation to the fee. An official announcement by Forest. I know yesterday he did his goodbye tweet, etc. But sticking with Forest, there was something in the Telegraph today saying that Dean Henderson is expected to join Nottingham Forest on a loan to buy. I don't know why. He has been announced. Okay, he has been announced, Elanga. I probably got missed and all that. I'm not going to read that out. I think that I'm a little bit baffled by this. You know, Dean Henderson went on loan last year to Forest. Why would we loan him again? I don't get it. And also, excuse me, got a bit of a frog in my throat. Obligation to buy, says Marsha. Yeah, that has to be there. But an obligation to buy is fine because that might be to help Nottingham Forest with financial fair play, I suppose. But what if Forest get relegated? Like, I worry about obligation to buy because really, Dean Henderson should be going. We need another striker, says Jason. We do. Dean Henderson should be going to a football club for 25 million quid. We shouldn't need to loan a player like that. He's a reasonable Premier League goalkeeper that's worth 25 million quid. I don't know why we would do another. I don't know why we do another loan, and I don't know why nobody wants to buy him now. Is there concerns over his injury? I don't know. But the trouble with obligation to buy is that it won't be as strict as you think it is. There was an obligation for Marseille to buy Eric Bailly, but they didn't, and I think it was to do with qualifying for the Champions League or the amount of games he plays. So. What if Forest do a loan to buy deal with Dean Henderson, but if they get relegated, they don't have to buy him? I mean, I'd just be more comfortable if we sold him. And the obvious reason for that is that if you do a loan to buy, and we're living in a world where we need to sell to buy, well, there's £25 million I think we all thought we were going to get this summer that we're not getting for Dean Henderson. So I don't know why. Look, if that's the best deal we can do, fine, we're going to have to do it. But it surprises me that we can't get £25 million for Dean Henderson this summer. I mean, what is it any club needs to know? He's been on loan to Sheffield United a few years ago. He's been on loan at Nottingham Forest last season. You know what you're getting with him. He's not an unknown quantity. So why wouldn't anybody just buy him? I don't get why we can't sell him. And I don't know why we'd be open to loaning him. But I think ultimately, maybe the great Dean Henderson doesn't have the options he thinks he does. I mean, this is a guy who said, I don't want to train in front of Ten Hag because he'll make me stay. Well, you know, there doesn't seem to be a big queue of clubs that want him, and maybe the best offer on the table is a loan to buy, unfortunately. But of course, it impacts our transfer window a little bit because it's not money coming in this summer.